So can you hear me now? Sorry about that. My the cell phone should work. Ah. Hi Kirsten, thank you for coming. Let's wait a little bit. The AF still not coming yet. So while we waiting, just purely observe the eagerness of the mind. Try to listen. Sometimes I observed my eagerness or trying to a mind, a thought trying to speak. Once you can observe every activity, physically, hi, hi F, can you hear me right? Not yet, so I'm waiting for you, no worry. So congratulations that you are aware of the awareness. That's all the teaching of Buddha. All the sutras are pointing to the awareness are aware of itself. Because for many, many years, the awareness has been lost in the contents of the awareness. So awareness, let's say awareness, you're aware, no doubt, and the contents we are aware of. For many, many years, even starting from the previous lives, and Buddha used a special term, from beginningless time, the awareness has been lost in the contents of itself. Now, for the first time, I mean, everybody has that awakening time. For the first time, awareness is aware of itself. That's called awakening. Awakening, the real practice starts from the awakening or satori, okay? Otherwise, all the meditation, all the morality precepts are aimless. Once you know the awareness is aware of itself and can be aware of itself, then all the practice makes sense now. Because all the practices are to become self-aware. Let's call it self-awareness. So congratulations that you are aware of the awareness for a period of time. And it's very normal, trust me, it's very normal we are lost in the contents again. But once you can be turned back, or the awareness is looking out, let's say when I say the awareness is lost in the contents, most time is going out, okay, outwardly. But once you can be aware of, you can be aware that I'm thinking, then you are safe. You are listening right now, but at the background, the awareness is always there. But the key is the awareness has to recognize itself. It's like if you're going outwardly or doing in the world or doing things, Activities in the world is a half circle going out. Then the awareness has to be aware of the self. Then the second half circle is going back. Let's make a complete circle. For most worldly person, they only know the first half of the circle, going out. They have never been going backward or inwardly. So first half, going out, doing things, engage in your everyday life. While you're doing so, you actually, the awareness is always there. But you need recognize it in the doing. In the doing, there's always non-doing. Like now, actually, it's not sometime else or somewhere else. It's always here and now. The awareness has to be recognized itself in every moment, in every place. Actually, the awareness is beyond space and time, but it needs its recognition that is beyond space and time. The self-recognition or self-awareness is a must for awakening. So, it's very normal that sometimes, let's say, offline, okay? Sometimes we are online. It seems to be offline because you lost in that activity, but the awareness never lost itself. If you're not aware, you cannot do anything. Make sense? No awareness, no world. Like in deep sleep, where are you? Who are you? Because in the deep sleep is the absence of the contents. The deep sleep is not the absence of awareness. Deep sleep is the absence of the contents of the awareness. In this perspective, it's very tricky now. It's very subtle. It's like a mirror, okay? The mind makes the worlds. You're right. But how about in deep sleep without dream? Where are you? Who are you? What are you? That's the absolute. So what am I going to say is the absolute. First, the absolute is formless, no contents. Okay? No contents. But the absolute has a function. It is a mirror-like consciousness. A mirror can call a mirror because it can reflect. Right at this moment, your conscious mind is like a four-dimensional mirror. It can reflect, let's say. A mirror that cannot reflect cannot be called like a mirror. It's not a mirror if it cannot reflect. In the same way, a mind can be aware and think. A mind that cannot be aware is not a mind. It's like a rock, a stone. A cup cannot reflect or be aware of things. So that's not a mind. So the absolute becomes a mirror-like consciousness which can reflect and think when there's a stimuli. So once you wake up, you have stimuli, your name, your body, your mind, your family, your world is fully built up because now there's contents. The deep sleep is let's say consciousness without contents, or awareness without contents. So you cannot, there's nothing to reflect. So it's a blank of contents. It's not the dead of the consciousness, okay? It's very subtle. You need, when I sleep, I dream, so aren't those just contents? Yes, you dream, it's still the contents of the mind. You can be anywhere, anytime, any space. So the mind is still there working because as a conscious mirror, because there's reflections there. Like now, we are in a more like realistic, real world, because now you're conscious, you're wakeful. Yes, I just realized you're me talking to me. It, you see, the Buddha's teaching have a very good metaphor, a metaphor for our mind to understand. Okay, so I am a reflection in your conscious mirror, a conscious mind, four-dimensional conscious mirror. I'm just one of reflection, and you can, all your surroundings, all your body sensations, your breath, your heartbeats, you know, all the reflections in your conscious mirror we call mind. And listen carefully, my dear friend. In Buddha's teaching, it says, all the reflection fundamentally are not real. In the relation to what is real is you, the consciousness itself is really real. Let's use the negation first. All the reflection that you can reflect in the conscious mirror, or all the contents you can be aware of as a conscious mind, are not real, fundamentally not real in comparison with the ultimate truth, or the real thing is you, the consciousness itself. Only the consciousness itself is real. Everything that you're aware of is not real. That's a negation way to talk about the ultimate truth. But there's another way to describe the ultimate truth is everything is real. It's affirmation. Because the consciousness is real, so all the contents of the consciousness or the awareness is real too. Can you see that difference a little bit? The negation and affirmation. I'm real because you are real. Once you realize you are absolutely real, then everything you look, you see, you touch is real. Because you touch the most fundamental level of who you are. Every moment is real. There's nothing unreal. But don't go to the everything's real. Don't go to attach to that reality, a realness. Okay. Yes, my body, mind, my voice is a reflection in your awareness. So if you realize you are the awareness, you can recognize that I am awareness too. You don't identify, once you don't identify with your body mind, you don't identify that others are their body and mind too. So common, universal. Once you know who you are, you know who are everybody, who is everybody. Once you know what you are, you know everything else, what are they. That's a direct experience. You don't need any teaching. Once you identify your awareness, then you identify that everything is aware, is awareness. Every human being, every animal is awareness. But most human beings and animals lost in the contents of awareness, meaning they lost in what they see, hear, taste, smell, touch, and think. They lost totally in the contents of awareness. But once you awakened, I'm beyond all contents of awareness, then you are safe. You are going back to the home. I completely understand my quick contents understand affirmation and realize they are both same. Yes, you could say it's the two sides of one thing. The one thing is ultimate truth, the never-changing awareness, but the never-changing awareness or consciousness, which is complete and perfect already, watching or observing the ever-changing world or phenomena world, including the mind, including the individual mind, collective mind, all the civilization of humanity, watching this side of ever-changing world. But this never-changing mindfulness consciousness is already complete and perfect. Watching this incomplete, imperfect of the world, and is not disturbed and distracted, because it knows itself is already complete and perfect. It's a self-recognition. Say, in the early 20s, Einstein discovered the relativity, the general relativity, and all the fundamental theories of modern science. The theory is discovered. It was there for 1,000 years already. Humanity just discovered it in the late 20th century. Also, after 100 years after that, we just discover things. Okay, everything, every theory, every principle, every laws of nature is already there. All the scientists, all the philosophers just discover it. In the same way, if you discover you are perfect and complete already, it's yours. You can use it. That's called enlightenment. You don't need anything, any external surroundings or situations or people or book or master to be perfect, enlightened, to be perfect and complete anymore, because it's a self-recognition. You are already perfect and complete. As pure consciousness, you are subject to no condition, no condition, no external dependence anymore. You're self-dependent, self-sufficient. That's called enlightenment. You don't rely on anything to be satisfied, to be complete, to be perfect. You are already originally complete, sufficient, and perfect. It's a self-discovery. And just as scientists discovered all the laws of nature, all the, relativity, weak force, and strong force, nuons, protons, we are just discovering it, and there's endless discover. But once you realize you are complete and perfect already. You stop searching. You stop searching because you're satisfied. You're already sufficient. Otherwise, you will keep doing, keep seeking, keep looking for enlightenment. You know. But once you realize you're already enlightened, you're perfect and complete, every practice make much more sense, and it enrich your enlightenment, it enrich your understanding, it deepens your understanding, it widens your understanding in such a endless way. It's an unlimited, infinite study and self acknowledgement. There's no top ceiling at all. There's no limitation at all. But you're standing on the ground of self-recognition that you are already complete and perfect. That's why I teach the Sutra of Perfect Enlightenment every night. Also, I began thinking of the future. I really think of the past. Good. I just see awareness. I see awareness in the future too, but shouldn't be in the now. You know, future, past, and now is a tricky play of the mind, okay, which is not pure yet. In the awareness, now you're aware, okay? Awareness itself has no time. It's beyond time. But the contents of the awareness is living in time. Everything like we are aware of one day, one night, 24 hours of a day. Because of what? Because there's changement. There's a sun rising, there's sun setting, and all changement of the day and nights. Their changement we call a cyclic, like a circular movement. Okay, everything spins. Atom spins, you know, Earth spins, and Earth spins around the sun, and the sun spins around somewhere in the Milky Way. The Milky Way spins around somewhere at the center of the universe, and maybe this universe spins around the multi-universe. I don't know. Anyway, everything spins. If things spins, there's changement. Make sense? Once there's changement, there's time. There's time and space. But beyond all these changements, there's one thing that is not changing at all. Is you. The awareness does not change. Our awareness, comparing to the 5 years ago, is same. Comparing to 10 years ago, comparing to your teenagers or toddlers, comparing to your, we just delivered to this world, awareness itself has not been changed at all. It's just, you are just aware. But the contents awareness changes from moment to moment, from month to month, from year to year, from lives to life. So time is a tricky play of the mind that is changing all the time, which is cyclic or circular movement, as a day and night, 4 seasons, year and a year, you know. Everything moves and changes has a time, or everything changes and moves in the dimension of time and space. But there's one thing that never changed, is changeless. It's you, the awareness, or the consciousness itself. It's always there already, perfect and complete. So time is useful, time is practical. We need it, and we need space too. But awakening means you recognize you are beyond space and time. That's all. Birth and death is an illusion. You solve the biggest problem in the world, birth and death. You do not fear death anymore because now you know birth and death are illusions. That's crazy. Sorry, my phone is a little smaller screen, so the text just give me 5 seconds to read. I have to type. I have to type it again. I'm aware of what I'm doing. I'm aware of the awareness that hasn't alignment, but is an alignment. Sorry. When awareness and mind becomes, yes, you see, great question. So once you identify your awareness, you are aware, it's awareness itself, the mind or the conscious mind, the thinking, the logic, the reasoning mind or memorizing mind becomes a tool to serve you instead of master you. You are the master who use every tool. Like I can put this cup and drink coffee. I use my mind, I use my hand, I use this cup to serve me. In the same way, you can use your mind to serve yourself, to enlighten more, instead of disturbed by the mind, instead of distracted by the mind, instead of defiled, misled by the mind. Because now you know you are not the mind. Mind is a tool to serve, like anything to serve. Okay, these lights serve me. It brighten the room. Everything serves me now. But this service, you have much greater, bigger understanding, and it's so beautiful. You're stable in the service. Sorry. You are stable, you're not distracted, you're not disturbed, because now the awareness is always aware of itself now. This identify with the contents, identify with the awareness itself, and use all the contents to serve, to awaken others. Or use all the contents to play, such a beautiful play. And this playground is infinite big and infinite small. Every object, every content you are aware of is your toy. Is a scene of a movie of we call life. I also get lost in my awareness as I have goals. I am in college going to. Oh, you're in college. You must be very young. Going to get a career soon. Dating when I not lost. You still keep doing your things. Okay, keep your everyday life. The real practice is in the everyday life. You don't go to temples. You don't go to mountains to practice. The real practice is in the relationship, is in the the hopes or wishes to achieve something. But in all the activities of a physical activity, mental activity, emotional activity, in the planning of doing things, in achieve something like a degree or a job or whatever it is, you don't lost yourself. You don't lost the awareness. Can be aware of itself and have a balance between the awareness and contents of awareness. The harmony between I and everything that is not I. If you follow this principle, all your lives will like, how to say, opens up for you naturally, because you're on the right path. Your life just evolve itself, or the flower of life will blossom naturally. There's no conflict, because you don't find any conflict. There's no conflict. And so everything you're doing becomes harmonious. Let's say that. You recognize every harmony, even in seemingly like conflict. And you can modify your mindset very easily, because you reach the source of everything, the source of the mindset, the source of every personality, every, characteristics, your temper, or the way of your doing, or the way of your thinking. You reach the source of everything I mentioned above, and you can modify it easily to solve a problem, to have a good relationship. It's a dynamic test. Let's call it quiz. As a college student, you may have quiz once a week or once a month. But in every moment, you have a quiz, because now the awareness is facing the contents of awareness. It's a quiz. Can you be calm enough, stabilized enough, and have that harmony between the two? I also briefly lost my awareness when I was in the intellectual argument with my friends. I started identifying with the body and mind and politics with my schools of thought. I just need practice. Yes, you see, the real, once you can recognize the contents of your activity, maybe it could be intellectual writing or dialogue or like conversation like this. Once you recognize the awareness is always as a background, no matter it's doing or not doing, okay? Then you're safe. You're not lost. In the conversation, in the dialogue, in the writing, there's always a gap. Trust me. Even you're writing in something, even you're in a conversation, in a speech, there's always a gap. And that gap, you can use that gap as a recognition of the awareness itself. Like now, actually, in every sentence I'm speaking, in every sentence you're understanding, there's a gap. Actually, in every verb, in every word I'm saying, there's a gap. And the awareness is always there. Without awareness, without world. Trust me. Of course, it takes practice to recognize the self, to recognize yourself as a background, no matter what you're doing or not doing. Great. You feel the gap. That's cool. You see, thinking is the application of the awareness. Don't use the thinking. When you use thinking to engage a conversation, okay, like now, thinking becomes your tool. Thinking is the application of the awareness. That's the beauty as a human being. The conscious mind, the reasoning, logic, memorizing, calculating mind is the application of the awareness, or let's say the intelligence, okay? You are aware. That's the first step. Then the awareness has the knowing property. The awareness knows the contents of itself, knows the activities of itself, knows the relationship, the book, the master, this conversation. So the knowing is the second step. But this knowing is on a foundation of the self-recognition of the awareness itself. So you don't lost in the knowing. For most people, for professor in the university, they know a lot of things. They're so knowledgeable. But the pity is all the knowledge a professor has, a doctor has, is baseless. They lost in the knowledge. They identify themselves as the knowledge itself. That's wrong. That's a wrong identification. Do you get me? You don't identify your knowledge. You don't identify your wisdom either, because the wisdom and the knowledge is the application of the chitta, of the bodhicitta. And the foundation is the awareness itself. Let's say the awareness is aware, can be aware of itself. That's the first step. The second thing is the second thing is the awareness knows in terms of intelligence, intellect, wisdom. You know something, but this knowing is on the foundation of self-awareness. You don't lose the awareness in the knowing. So right at this moment, I'm using my conscious mind, reasoning, logic, thinking, memorizing mind to talk to you. It's an application of the bodhicitta. It's the application of the mind, the pure mind, let's say, undefiled mind. So the awareness decides if I want to be born again after the death. Clueless to my own evidence, just to experience again. I just want to experience myself. We are all just experience. Why incarnation? So there's no birth and death, okay? Let's cut it short. There's no birth and death. In the Sutra of Perfect Enlightenment, it declares that. So I use Chinese first. 亦无生心受彼生死. There's no body mind to undergo birth and death, because body and mind is our illusion, like sky flowers, so profound and fundamental. That's why I dig into the sutras now. Sutras is the wisdom that in words, but once you're enlightened, you can discover the the golden mind that in every sutra. Anyway, there's no body-mind. So you can use a body-mind to serve. If you leave this body-mind, let's say leave this body-mind, even that statement is not true. You are pure consciousness. Beyond space and time. But as a timeless, spaceless consciousness, now you're manifested in a space and time as a body-mind. Okay. But you're not this body-mind. This body-mind is a tool to experience, let's say, to know yourself, to know the ultimate, which is beyond birth and death, which is beyond body-mind. It's like games, okay? And the ultimate self, the true self, needs these experiences to know itself. Okay, is that the Leo are in the Matrix? You know, in the Matrix, I think the main character, like Grief, Leo, is the one that use that contents to realize he's beyond all these matrix. Now you're in the matrix of the world. You realize that you're beyond this world, that's all. But if you like to come back, you come back. You come back to play, to experience. But you're not subject to any experiences anymore. You like to have fun? Have fun. You're having fun now. Game experiences, yeah, you can say that. The Matrix is spiritual. Avatar too. Yes. What is the time now? I need no time. I have to go to accompany my kid, to drive my kids to a soccer team at 10. So I'm sorry I have to leave. So you can come back. I come back. You can join us on tonight at 9:45 p.m. Vancouver time, or tomorrow morning. People don't, the birth and people die physically. People never die spiritually, okay? The ego dies, but something beyond ego never dies. And you, my dear friend, have to recognize it's a self-recognition. See you tonight or tomorrow morning. Bye now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Endless question and Q&A.